We're joined now by Faten Elwan out of Marseille in France. Faten, so firstly, why is this debate emerging again now?
Because we have an extreme government with a teenager politician, Itamar Ben Gvir, and his partner in crime, Smotrich, who are planning to take over the West Bank. We can play with words politically and legally, but on the ground, it's an ethnic cleansing. It's not an Israeli government thinking whether she wants to take over the West Bank or to take control over part of the West Bank. No, it's an annexation. It's an ethnic cleansing. It's a government that is clear that what they're going toward at the end of the goal is to take control over the whole West Bank, not just the Area C, which is 90% of the ground. And we have to understand that we have what they're threatening to do and all the terms and political terms that they're using and what's reality on the ground. Smotrich said it clearly, at least the finance minister in the Israeli government, he said it clearly that the end of the goal is to take over the West Bank. And he's doing it at the time being. We're not talking only about the 60% of Area C that the Israeli government, since the Oslo Agreement, decided to cancel that point by delaying. We know that Area C was supposed to be under the Palestinian control by the year 2003, maximum 2005. The Israeli government delayed that decision on a previous plan that they want to go back to the major goal, which is Greater Israel. Greater Israel means in the biblical borders of this land that Jews or Zionists must be in all of the West Bank in every single aspect, and no Palestinian state should be capable of being there. This is why we see more than 60 groups of settlers who are armed by the Israeli government with a decision from Itamar Ben Gvir to give more 10,000 weapons to those settlers. And they're totally acting as the Haganah. And the Haganah is those terrorist Zionist groups. Historically, it started during the British Mandate, and their action was terrorizing Palestinians toward ethnic cleansing and forced displacement slowly. We're talking about 80% of the Bedouin community who was forcibly displaced from all of the areas in the Area C. And so what we're talking about legally is like they didn't put their sovereignty on the West Bank, but on the ground, they have full control of it. They are controlling every single aspect. We have a growth of settlements during only the last 2 years. It grew up to 210, meaning there is 120 units were built in less than a year and a half, compared to the same amount of settlement built throughout 40 or 50 years inside of the bank.
Faten, sorry to interrupt you. I'd like to ask you what are going to be and are currently already the consequences for Palestinians living in the occupied West Bank?
They will have to leave slowly every area, exactly as what happened with the Bedouin community. We have settler groups that are attacking, terrorizing every single Palestinian in every area in the West Bank, not just in Area C. We're talking about Area A and Area B, like in Turmusaya and Kufur Malik. We're talking about a West Bank that turned into a big chunk of small jails surrounded by settlers, and those settlers grew with more than 330,000 weapons, legalized and controlled by an Israeli government, acting as a terrorist militia on the ground, are moving slowly, Palestinians, slowly from one place to another, because they're suffocating them with the movement, the freedom of movement, the freedom of building a house, the freedom of expanding as a human being, because if you're all going to be surrounded in one small chunk with the natural growth of humanity, then you will not have space. What's going to happen is slowly Gaza is turning into the West Bank, but this time it's led by the shadow army in the Israeli government, which are the settlers that are terrorizing women, even ethical action on the ground in which they attack the women going naked in front of them, that slowly family will decide, like, you know, we cannot, with the lack of protection, stay here, we need to flee.
Yes, so sorry, Faten, sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to ask finally, I mean, what could these formal moves towards sovereignty risk in terms of Israel's potential sanctions, diplomatic isolation, more strained relations, given that those relations with many allies are already fairly strained?
I think the Israeli government is not fearing any kind of sanction. What full support that they're taking from the United States, they are moving freely, they're moving bluntly, they're moving without even any fear. Like even when Macron, the French president, was talking about declaring an independent Palestinian state, he threatened them and told them, like, if you want to do it, and I promise you that we're going to take over the West Bank. They have full control of support by the U.S., blindly by this support by the U.S., that any recognition of Palestinian independent state, any threats that is given from any international community, the EU or others, by putting sanction on settlers that have dual citizenship, it doesn't mean anything, because there is the United States that's going to remove all those sanctions and support the government and their shadow ban government on the ground, which is the settlers. So they're not fearing anything, and they're saying it bluntly. We're going to take it, and we don't care about the international community or any consequences, because the United States, we're going to make sure that any ban that is going to be taken, exactly as they banned the President Mahmoud Abbas from going to the UN to take any legal action against the Israeli government. He was banned from having a visa, so you cannot even act on the legal side of stopping any aggression by the Israelis.
Faten Elwan live from Marseille in France for us. Thank you so much for your analysis.